Welcome to King 5 Plus. Alongside Chris Egan, I'm Paul Silvi. Thank you for looking in. We've got a lot to get to when it comes to the Seahawks schedule, and we'll also look at some NFL games that pique interest in fans, especially those holiday games. There is a full slate of games, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then toward the end of the year, it's an absolute toss-up when it comes to the regular season. Chris, you look at this schedule. First of all, I want to get your take on the NFL release day. This has become like Selection Sunday for the NFL.
Well, not just, I talked to some folks that say this is like a holiday. I was with the South Sound Seahawkers earlier today at an event, and they were getting ready. They were going to have a big dinner as they were watching the release, and then what they do as soon as the schedule's released, a lot of these Seahawks fans, Paul, they do what you do in your group. They go right to the airlines and try to start booking tickets and hotels. This is a big day, and you know better than anyone in the Seattle market, Seahawks fans travel better than anyone. So you know right now tonight, everybody's kind of mapping out where they're going to go, where they're taking the family for a vacation. So it's a fun day, definitely.
Yeah, it's a fun day because this is also a chance, you see the schedule. We knew who their road opponents were. We knew who their home opponents were for a long time. But when you get to see the time of year you're going to these places, it's always fun. And people can, as you said, start making plans. And the airlines can start gouging some of the fans because all of a sudden the ticket prices are way up here.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because the NFL is king. And in this town, the Seahawks fans are ready to rock and roll. And so let's start right away. We'll go to the preseason first. Normally, Chris, we wouldn't even touch the preseason, but this one is special.
Well, I mean, how about that? Yeah, we're talking about the preseason. A lot of people are like, why are they talking about the preseason? Well, first off, you can watch all the preseason games on King 5 TV. But here's the big one. The first preseason game, Paul, against the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, right away. The NFL says, we're not messing around. Let's get Pete Carroll back in Seattle. I don't know about you. I don't know if there's going to be a more hyped up preseason game than the Raiders coming to Seattle. Yeah. The return of Pete Carroll. Geno Smith obviously will be returning. Not sure if he'll even play in that game, but the fact that Pete Carroll will make his first kind of official visit back in Seattle with the fans, it's going to be an emotional night at Lumen Field.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun just to see Pete back on the sidelines, even though he's on the opposite sidelines. And in fact, Chris, that might be the most interesting thing about this game is watching Pete all throughout the game. You know, in the past, he doesn't shy away from saying the preseason games mean a lot to him. He likes to win every preseason game, so he'll be fired up across the street when they come to town. But it is a question of who's going to play in that game. Who really cares at that point? But that first, opening minutes when Pete runs out on the field, I think he's going to get a huge ovation.
I think it's going to be a very loud ovation. I mean, Seahawks fans love him. He brought the first and only Super Bowl championship to this city, got him right back there again. People love Pete. He still has family in this area. He still spends a lot of time here. He's done a lot of good things here. So I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a fun environment. And then after that, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs come to Seattle.
Yeah, Pete's coming.
I mean, he may not be playing, but the Chiefs will be here for game 2. And then, Paul, it's off to Lambeau Field. It seems like you can never get away from a trip to Green Bay.
Yeah, you know what? That's an afternoon game in Green Bay. It's going to be, I think, a 1 o'clock start there. So that's kind of what they did a couple years ago. So it's a fun place to be, even though it is a preseason game, just being in the hallowed grounds of Lambeau Field, especially when you get to go in, August still. So it's not like December or January when you're freezing your butts off out there.
And I'm not going to sit here on this show and predict preseason games. I'm not going to do that. All we're going to tell you, it's the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Packers. You can see all three of them on King 5 TV. And Paul, before we break down the Seahawks schedule, speaking of King 5 TV, the first NFL game of the season is going to be on King 5 TV. It's the defending Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. You knew they had to put the Cowboys on for that first primetime game, didn't you?
Yeah, they've made some changes in the offseason, but I don't think enough to make it that interesting. But we'll see. They seem to play well on the road, especially at Philadelphia. So let's get right to the Seahawks game. And we just spent, 5 minutes talking about the preseason. So let's get right to it. Seahawks open the season at home against the San Francisco 49ers. That is a great way for the Seahawks and their fans to open the season.
I think it's going to be an awesome game. Seahawks had their way with the 49ers last season, Paul. A nice 20 20-17 win on November 17th, 36-24 on October 10th. Obviously, the 49ers last season, different team, banged up. A lot of players were out all season, so you know they're going to be healthy, ready to go on that September 7th game. But coming to Seattle is not an easy place to play, so I think the Hawks come out of the gates and get this one. It's also going to be the debut of Sam Darnold, if you will, at quarterback for the Hawks, so it's going to be fun to see what he could do.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see on that note whether Jalen Milroe, their rookie quarterback they got out of Alabama, how much time he sees in the preseason, because they're going to want to get him worked into some NFL games. But it'll be interesting to see if they start to use him as a secret weapon throughout the season.
Yeah, no, and how many of these rookies in this draft class that we've been talking about, this great draft class, how many of them right out of the gates will be getting playing time? So that's going to be interesting as well. And we talk about that big game, that preseason game against the Raiders. Paul, I'm looking ahead now to at Pittsburgh. How about this one? DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf.
Yes, he doesn't have anybody to throw him the football.
Oh, he's got Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson.
Oh, jeez. Whoa, hang on. Put an L by the Seahawks on that one. Come on, dude.
Let's hope Mason Rudolph is the quarterback of the Steelers on September 14th.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you have the insight with Aaron Rodgers. Did you text him? Is he coming to Pittsburgh, Paul?
I don't have any. I can tell you this, though. DK Metcalf has that fat contract with the Steelers. They took care of him, so he's a Steeler now, and he's got a lot of dough in the bank. But will he be happy there, especially if he has subpar quarterback play?
And I'm going to be honest, whether they have Aaron Rodgers or not, we've seen what Aaron Rodgers has done the past 2 seasons. I'm not worried about that.
No.
I would take Sam Darnold over Aaron Rodgers every day of the week right now. So I'm feeling good about that game. I think we're getting the San Francisco game. We're going to Pittsburgh. You know what, DK? Thanks for playing, but we're going to get this win.
Okay, so that's the Steelers' home opener too. So their fans, of course, they're awesome fans there.
The towels will be waving, but the towels can only do so much, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. So Mike Tomlin is a tremendous coach, and he's going to have his work cut out for him as this season gets underway.
And Paul, you've been there before. This is not a bad time, September 14th, to go to Pittsburgh. I am not a meteorologist. I leave that for the folks in the weather department, but I did a little research. It averages about 70 degrees in Pittsburgh in the early
time
September.
of year, Chris.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
Let me tell you something. I've been to Pittsburgh several times, and that's one of those cities I think that people sleep on. It is a beautiful city, and I love it. And so it's a good chance to get out there and see it coming in the late summer, early fall. So
better in September than December, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you get to December, that Heinz Field, or now it's called Acrisure Stadium or something like that, that is just a dirt pit. And but it'll be really nice when the Seahawks go there for the first game of the Steelers' home schedule. So that's coming up. So we talked about Pittsburgh. The Saints, I don't have a whole lot to say about. I don't think we should waste a lot of time on it.
It will be interesting here, though, Paul. You got Clint Kubiak, now the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So Kubiak should have a little insight on this Saints team. So and vice versa. The Saints are probably going to know a little bit about what the Seahawks are going to be trying to run with Kubiak leading the way in Seattle. So
maybe that was fire too.
That was the only little connection I saw with that game on the 21st.
Yeah, maybe a little fire. You're right, because that whole staff got blown out down there. So Kubiak may have something to prove.
And the 25th, Paul, I'm going to ask you right here, because you know this. You've been to this place more than anybody. It says a road game. It says at Arizona the 25th on Thursday. But speak to the fans. You know, this isn't a road game.
Yeah.
This is a home game for the Seahawks in Arizona, isn't it?
Well, especially on a Thursday night, because by the end of this game, provided the Seahawks win it, when they've done that, I think they've beaten the Cardinals, 7 straight times now. They have this tremendous winning streak against that team. But when they go down there and they're on national TV, all of those Seahawks fans, all the 12s, come down from their seats and they get behind the national broadcast. Their studio's right there on the corner on the sidelines there, and they get behind there and make a ton of noise. And then they come over to our set and they make a ton of noise. So you're right. That is the most well-traveled stadium and road game the Seahawks have to offer.
It's probably tough right now. If you were traveling to Phoenix, you probably, if you're going to Alaska Airlines, you probably could have used 5,000 miles to get you down there yesterday. Yeah. It's probably up to 40,000 miles right now, because you know Seahawks fans will be flooding down to Phoenix. I think this Arizona team, Kyler Murray, he's a very dangerous quarterback. He had a roller coaster season last year, but he's pretty good. And then, of course, Budda Baker signing a new deal down there, the former Bellevue Wolverine. Always fun to watch. But the Seahawks had their number against the Cardinals last year, 2-0, a couple nice wins against them. So, I don't know. Seahawks had they did pretty well against this team last season.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have owned the Cardinals for several years now, and the Cardinals signed Trey McBride, their tight end, to a massive contract. And we sit here, we're football fans, and we look at other teams and all other players. I think Trey McBride is a stud, and I think he's fun to watch. And they're lucky they locked him up, so he's a weapon for them, and certainly a weapon for Kyler Murray. But let's move on to October now. We get into the month of October, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to Lumen Field. This is not the Bucs of old, but this is a pretty good team. They've got some talent, and of course they're a playoff team last year.
Well, and they are a playoff team. Baker Mayfield leading the way, and this is going to be kind of a fun homecoming for several players on that Tampa Bay team. You got Cade Otton, former King 5 Sports Prep Zone athlete from Tumwater High School.
That's right,
Paul. He has become you talk about studs in Arizona. Cade Otton has become a legit tight end in the NFL. You got Devin Culp, a backup tight end, also from the great state of Washington, played for the Huskies as well. And Jalen McMillan. This team is loaded with former Huskies, so it's going to be kind of fun to see all these ex-Huskies coming back to Seattle to battle the Seattle Seahawks, and that's going to be a battle. I think that's going to be a great game.
It should be, and I think that it is fun because in recent years we've noticed that the Buccaneers have signed quite a few former Huskies, and it's become UW Southeast, and it's just kind of cool. It's a good point to make that they do have a lot of former Huskies and have had a lot of former Huskies in that program and on that team. So we move ahead from Tampa to at Jacksonville, where the Seahawks haven't played in 8 years. And our old friend, King 5 meteorologist Jim Guy, has been living down there. This is 8 years ago I saw Jim, and now I get to meet him for a cup of coffee one more time. He's still in Jacksonville. We swap texts about his Jags, but they've been pathetic, and so I've always had the upper hand on the texting. But again, the Jaguars game is a city that we just don't visit a whole lot in the past.
And they haven't been great against the Seahawks, but this is that team that you never know where they're going to go with Trevor Lawrence. They got a young wide receiver in Brian Thomas, who is coming off just a stellar season last year. This is a guy to watch out for. He's going to cause some troubles. And just take us through Jacksonville. What is it like there playing there? I've never been there for an NFL game.
Well, I can tell you that the fans there are, the whole Duval thing. They do love their football down there, but it's been a long time since they've had a chance to cheer for somebody. And you bring up Trevor. It's a fact that this is a guy. We're down to 10 minutes already, Chris. We got to get through this schedule. Time is a ticking. I don't want to waste my time on Trevor Lawrence. Let's move ahead.
Moving on.
All right,
Trevor, we'll see you.
No offense. I know you're getting some weapons. We're looking forward to that team improving because let's face it, we all want to see good NFL teams. We don't want to go to Sunday and see a team get smoked by 30. It's not even worth watching.
Are you ready for Monday Night Football, Paul?
I'm loving it.
October 20th.
That's right. Houston Texans coming to town. I love when they schedule the Monday night games in Seattle because the fans here and the atmosphere at Lumen Field, national broadcast, the networks all know what they get when they come to Seattle.
And this Houston team, very good. This is another well-run organization. They've starting to make their way. C.J. Stroud, very excitable quarterback. This may be your only chance if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan to see C.J. Stroud up close and personal.
Honestly, I mean, these teams don't make it, on the Seahawks schedule very often. So that's a chance for you to see the Texans. Then the Seahawks get a break at the end of the week. They have their bye week, October 26th, at the end of the month. And then November starts out with a bang. Taking on the Commanders on Sunday Night Football on King 5. The fifth quarter will be live that night. We will all be all be involved. It's a all-hands-on-deck show for the fifth quarter at Washington. Of course, a playoff team last year, and Jaden Daniels leading the way. Man, that is a fun team to watch.
If you're not headed to our nation's capital, start the party planning right now. This is going to be a game November 2nd. Dan Quinn and the Washington Commanders. We love Dan Quinn. They were 12-5 last season, Paul. Went to the NFC Championship game. Jaden Daniels, you go from C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels. I mean, this Seahawks team, the defense is going to be tested pretty early on in this season.
Yeah, and the Seahawks have done a nice job of bulking up their defense and kind of fine-tuning it the way that head coach Mike McDonald wants. He's getting some personnel in there that he wants. So we'll break down the Seahawks as they get into training camp and mini camp, the OTAs, all that kind of stuff. But again, that's going to be a good matchup and certainly a challenge for the Seahawks defense. Then it's back, the Arizona Cardinals, November 9th at Lumen Field. We've talked a lot about the Cardinals. First matchup with the Rams is November 16th, and that's down at SoFi.
This team scares me every year we play them. I just feel like the Rams, sometimes we were saying we got the Cardinals number, sometimes it feels like the Rams have our number. It's interesting, they're not playing them until November 16th. That seems later in the season to play this team. So I think that's going to be a battle in my mind for the NFC West right there. I know some people don't have the Seahawks high. I think it's a battle for the Rams and Seahawks to win the West.
I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't seen a number where the Seahawks finish above third in the NFC West.
And I don't get that. I don't get it
either. But the last time I saw it, they're picked by several national analysts to finish last in the NFC West. So it'll be interesting to see if they can prove the doubters wrong. Then it's off to Nashville, which, come on, the 12s are going to be, they probably already have their tickets booked
This
for
is
Nashville.
a dream ticket. I mean, this is a dream ticket, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is a town where everybody wants to go to, and it's a lot of fun. There'll be people bookending that thing, going in on Thursday or Friday and staying until Monday or Tuesday. That's a great trip for Seahawks fans.
Well, and not only is it a great place to go visit and be a tourist, but we talked about Pete Carroll at the beginning of this, the Raiders coming here for preseason. Tyler Lockett, Paul, you know this, is a fan favorite in Seattle. No longer a Seahawks wide receiver, now going to be playing for the Titans. You know a lot of Seahawks fans are going to want to go there and root on Tyler Lockett. They'll be rooting on their Hawks, but they want to send their best to Tyler Lockett
for sure.
because he gave so much to this city.
Yeah, all-time favorite for sure. Then you got wrapping up the month of November, Minnesota Vikings coming to Lumen Field. That's Sam Darnold's team, of course, his former team, and that will be an interesting matchup because they kind of let Sam go, and they're going with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback, provided he stays healthy into that game. But I'm anxious to see that kid play his first season. Of course, he got season-ending injury last year and didn't make it to any part of the regular season for the Vikings. So interested to see him play. Interested to see how Sam Darnold progresses throughout the season under Kubiak.
Yeah, I would have loved to play McCarthy earlier on in the season because at that point, if he's healthy, he's going to have a little groove going.
Sure.
But you made a good point. Is he going to be in that?
Yeah, can
game
he make it to
Can he
November
make it to
30th?
that point? I know it's one game at a time. It's cliche, but it'll be interesting to see. And I think Sam Darnold is going to put a chip on his shoulder, even though he's making a lot of money here in Seattle, and he wants to take out his old team.
Yeah, as you know, every athlete loves to beat their former team, and he'll be up for that one. Atlanta Falcons, December 7th, as we cruise into the Christmas month, the Falcons hosting the Seahawks. And, of course, Mike McDonald had a ton of family and friends at that game. Players had a ton. We were down there last year, and it was crazy how loud the Georgia Dome got down there. I said Georgia Dome. Mercedes-Benz Stadium got down there. It was crazy. So
it's going to be interesting to see who's at quarterback in that game for the Falcons. Will we see former Husky Michael Penix?
I think so.
I mean, will he win the job at that point?
I think so, for sure.
I know they love him, so that's going to be interesting. And then speaking of quarterback question marks, Paul, you look to that Colts game. Where will they be at that point? Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson? I think that's a very winnable game as the Colts come to Seattle.
Yeah, and then you look ahead, you got the Los Angeles Rams coming to Lumen Field again on the 18th there. And we all know about Sean McVay, and we've talked about the Rams. If they're healthy, they're going to be dangerous wherever they are, and they always play the Seahawks tough. And then the last two games of the season are toss-ups because the NFL basically says, we don't know where any of these teams are going to wind up when it comes to the last two games on the schedule. So they've left the date off, they've left the times off, and we've got the Seahawks have the Panthers on the road and the 49ers on the road. So
those could be Thursday, Saturday, Sunday games, or a Monday night game, correct?
And hopefully that 49ers game means something at the end of the year. So
wouldn't that be nice? San Francisco Seahawks on King 5 TV, little Sunday night football.
Yeah, they could shift us into that. That would be sweet. All right, let's go through this real quick. If you go through this, let's go win-loss real quick.
Okay, I'm going to tally them up for me.
Okay, so home against San Francisco.
I'm going to go win right out of the gates.
All right, I'll take a win. At Pittsburgh.
Mason Rudolph doesn't scare me either. Does Aaron Rodgers? I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay, 2-0. I agree. Saints at home.
We're better than the Saints. Okay. I'm going 3-0.
3-0 out of the gate. Okay. At Arizona.
I think Kyler Murray, Paul, still is going to be healthy. He's going to be rolling. I think Arizona gets us down there. I hate to say it, but I think they do.
You're saying the streak comes to an end?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take the Seahawks.
You're going 4-0 at that point.
I just can't see. I just like the matchup. So I'll say 4-0. That's a reach, but I'll say it.
Okay.
Home against Tampa.
This is a very good Tampa Bay team. We're coming back home. I think the magic at Lumen Field comes back. I know it kind of went away a little bit last year. We heard about that, not having the home field advantage. I think we get that win. Okay. I think we get that win. I'm going 4-1 there.
All right, for just a few minutes left here. I'm going to have to take. I can't have these guys going 6-0 out of the gate. I'll take the Bucs in that one.
Okay, you're going Bucs in that one.
At Jacksonville.
I'm not worried about this Jacksonville team. I think we get the win there. 5-1, Paul.
All right, 5-1. Okay, Houston Texans here, Monday Night Football.
Woo! I think we go into the bye week rolling. This town is electric because you know what's going on, Paul? The Seahawks, in my mind, are going to be 6-1. Do I get 6-1 or 5-1? They're 6-1. The Mariners are getting ready for the playoffs. I mean, we will not have a day off during this stretch, Paul. I'm going to tell you right now. All right.
All right, Joe. You got the you got the Seahawks. Then I'll take the Seahawks there before the bye
week. So you're 6-1 as well.
Okay. At Washington.
I think Washington gets this.
Okay, I'm an L there for sure. Okay. Arizona Cardinals at home.
I gave them the loss on the road to Arizona. I think we get the win at home.
Okay, I'll take the win at home.
Okay.
At the LA Rams.
I don't like playing the Rams, especially down there. I think we lose this game.
I got you. I agree with you. Lose there. At Tennessee.
I'm not.
A lot of rebuilding out there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we get the win here. I go 8-3.
I agree. At home against Minnesota.
I think Minnesota is going to be really missing Sam Darnold. I don't think JJ has it the first year. It's not easy, Paul.
Chris, we have to give them some losses. They can't finish the season 15-2.
I got them 9-3 right now.
Okay.
I got 3 losses
after Minnesota. Okay, so at Atlanta.
At Atlanta. Okay, I'm gonna. For some reason, I think something's gonna happen there. We're gonna lose that game. I'm gonna go 9-4.
All right, I'm taking Mike McDonald, his family and friends. Seahawks will beat the Falcons again in Atlanta.
So you're at 10-3. I just want to let you know.
Okay, at home against the Colts. That's a win for the Seahawks.
That's a win. I'm going 10-4. You're now 11-3.
I don't know how I got to 11-3. LA Rams at home.
Prime time Thursday night game, Paul. We're getting the victory. I'm at 11-4 right now. What are you going?
I'll take the Seahawks there.
So you're 12-3
at Carolina.
Well, the Carolina's not good.
Okay, 13-3 at San Francisco. 13-4 for me.
You're going 13-4.
That's strong.
I'm going to say they lose that, but that takes them to 12-5. 13-4, 12-5. We'll take either of those, right?
I think 12-5 is way more realistic. If we had to do this again, I'd probably throw a few L's in there. But I see the Seahawks losing 5 games this year. Let's just do that. 12-5 for me.
Okay, so that's what I had. 12-5.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we're on the same page. We've been around for a long time, folks. I mean, over 25 years working together.
That's a playoff team, Paul. That's a playoff team.
Yeah, if the Seahawks get to 11 wins, for sure, I think they're in the playoffs. So that's going to do it for us. I hope you enjoyed our take on the Seahawks and their new schedule. For Chris Egan, I'm Paul Silvi. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you when the season starts.